Welcome to the Impactful Leadership Show. I'm your host, Greg McDonough. John Lennon once said, "A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality." Join me as we connect dreams to reality by chatting with innovators from around Washington, D.C. Our show is proudly sponsored by the D.C. chapter of the Entrepreneurs Organization. This is the Impactful Leadership Show. Well, welcome to the Impactful Leadership Show. My name is Greg McDonough. I am the CEO of Blackburn Capital Advisors and the chapter president of the Entrepreneurs Organization of Washington, D.C. Today's guest is a software development expert, an enterprising entrepreneur, technical consultant for Espresso Inc., and the principal of Square Residential, Bruno Muscolino. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Greg, for being here. Let's just dive into the meat.
Yeah, I'd love to. And sorry I slipped up on your name there. I've been practicing all morning, but it's one of
it happens all the time. Don't sweat it.
Awesome. So our podcast is about leadership. And my favorite question to ask my guests is, what are some misconceptions in leadership that you've seen?
So that's actually an interesting question. I've been thinking about this for a little while. And I think the first step is starting to define the word. I think the first misconception comes from the word leadership. Leadership, what does that mean? That means the leader of the ship. And then you can, then what is the leader of a ship? Do you want to be the leader of a galley where a bunch of people are there working for you, making the ship go forward? Or do you want to be the leader of a cruise ship where people are happy to be there and having a big party on the ship all the time? And so where I'm going with this is, are you driving are you leading a galley, or are you leading a cruise ship? And your guests, your customers, your employees, do they rather be on a galley, or do they rather be on a cruise ship? And so that has been kind of like my approach to leadership. So I'll give you an example. We have right now we are revamping our CRM. I mean, we have quite a bit of contacts, and we work with a lot of people. I could tell the lady who's taking care of that, hey Blaze, can you just enter all those business cards, those 5,000 business cards, I don't even know how many I got, into the CRM. Or I can tell her, hey Blaze, we have all those contacts. We're spending a lot of time trying to find out those the people that we need to reach when we are searching for them. We have acquired this software. Can you help us make our process and our company more efficient by helping us enter that data, and we'll all be maintaining it the best as we can going forward. So leadership does not come from a place of authority. And that is one of the big misconceptions. That's the first main point, is it does not come from a place of authority, which is probably the biggest misconception that people have. And I think that's, I'm going to take you to a little bit unusual place, because while I was thinking about this, I thought about a painting, like a quote that you see very often in stores. And I'm going to read it to you, but I'm going to switch one of the main words by leadership. And I think that is the best description of leadership that I could come up with, because I was looking for a definition. And I'll go for it. So leadership is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongdoing. And I think that is literally the definition of a good leader, right? You could be a leader on a galley, or you could be a loving leader, I want to say. So I think there's a lot of correlation between love and leadership, in the sense of, you love your company. You want your company to go forward. You want things to be done a certain way, but you also have to, love your employees and help them grow and help them be better people. Better people, the better the. I don't like this sentence, this quote, be the best you can be. That used to remind me some bad advertising back in the day. But you want people to do better themselves. So do you want the people who are helping your ship go forward to be in a galley, or do you want it to be on a cruise ship? So that's, I think, the biggest misconceptions, right? People think, oh, a leader is authoritative, you're a galley leader. But I don't think that is the case. I think you should be on a cruise ship with people that are having a good time.
I love the way you frame that, right? The galley compared to a cruise ship. And what that translated for me, or the word that highlighted into my brain cells, was passion. Right?
Yes.
The entrepreneur, the business leader, the business owner having passion for their business, but also creating that passion within their employees or their vendors or their stakeholders. And that's, to your point, the misconception is around the place of authority. And I think what you're articulating is, it's really, you lead by showing passion and gathering folks around that similar passion.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes, but it's a little bit more than that, I think, because sometimes, people may not have, let's me give you an example, right? If I have a software developer that's building something for the real estate company, right? Like a tool, that person may not have a passion for real estate, but may have a passion for the technology. So I think it's more than just driving the passion for necessarily my business, but for what they like to do and what they do, driving passion for what they do, and creating purpose for those people, not necessarily, 100% for, the field, or I'm not sure I'm explaining this the right way, but illicit passion, absolutely. But it doesn't have to be the same passion as the person, as a leader. Otherwise, we're back in dictatorship, right? Everybody's got to like what the boss says, and that's I think that's a slippery slope. But enlist passion, a passion inside the employee or the vendors or the contractors. I mean, everybody.
Sure. Let's go a little bit deeper on that. When you're working with an employee or a vendor or a subcontractor, how do you discover what they're passionate about?
Well, I think you have to come from a place of listening again. You have to listen what they say, and you have to not necessarily take it as a no. Sometimes they'll say no to something, but that comes from a fear. And maybe they want to work with you and they want to go with you, but they're afraid of something. Like many times that happened to me in the past. Like the default answer is, oh no, it cannot be done. And then when you say why, what is the issue, and then you discover the issue is something totally different. Could be fear of losing their job. Could be fear of doing something wrong. Could be fear of any of those things. It's rarely from a place of laziness and negativity. It's usually a lot of times it's fear, and then you just have to work through those fears, and you just have to listen. I mean, everybody is afraid of something different, right? I mean, I can think of I used to be married, and the biggest fear of my ex-wife was instability of income. So she wanted me to be a government employee. It's just not me. I mean, I can't do that. She had a fear of lack of money, or lack of something, like financial security, lack of financial security. And I just can't, I can't do that. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. It's like killed my soul, stress, trying to work for the government and stuff. I tried it, and it's just not for me. Because there you have a lot of, that's actually a great place where you can see a lack of when you work within government, where you can see a lack of passion. They are there just to clock in and clock out, and they have no passion of anything, and that's why they're lagging behind compared to industry. I mean, there's some people that obviously in government are trying to improve on that, but it's difficult.
Certainly. Yeah, when you brought up the government job, I think the hair on my back of my neck stood up because, as a fellow entrepreneur,
yeah,
the randomness of our day sort of gives us
yes,
the
what's
energy
exciting.
to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm curious, continuing this conversation around passion, and we talked about it with our employees and those that are working with us. Have you come up with or seen ways to identify individuals with passion? Almost you meet somebody for the first time, or you're interviewing candidates to be an employee. Are there certain questions or tactics that you use to help identify their passions to see if they're going to be a fit for your team?
Yeah, I ask them, what do they like to do outside of work? And that's, if you have passion in something, you can have passion in other things. If somebody says, yeah, I mean, nobody says that, but usually they say, when they describe what they do outside of work, they give you more of a sense of, if it's a passionate person, right? Sometimes people will tell you, oh yeah, I compete in XYZ, right? I love to go play soccer every weekend with my friends, and so you see that shows that there is some passion, and then you can dig into that a little bit more and discover if it's just like really a passion or if it's more of a social thing, right? And I'm not looking for something that's that's necessarily correlated to my business. I want to see if it's a passionate person, because there's so many, I'm sorry to say that, but so many boring people out there that they just leave for the cocktails on the weekend, and that's about it. And not having any passion, I think it tells a lot about a person.
So let me flip that question on you. What are your passions outside of your work life?
Well, actually, I love to be creative. So I turn my passions into work, essentially, but not directly into work. Let me give you an example. Yesterday, I was thinking, I was with my daughter, and I wanted her to, I want her to get better at some of the things. She's in first grade, as far as reading and counting and things like that. And the teacher keeps telling me, "Oh, you should play game, like do a game with her, or make it in the form of a game." And then I was thinking, hey, why don't we make it into a game for kids to learn? Because she likes to play spaceship, what she calls spaceships. That means that we're on the street, we're walking, whatever, or in the house, and we pretend that we're inside a spaceship, and then there's aliens trying to get us. And that's what she likes to play. So maybe turn that into a card game, and then why not sell it? And so I think, make it in, transforming this into something creative, and this creative thing into something fun that I can understand and control better, meaning business, and then show her how to do it. Because one of my passions and things that I really would like to be better, and I don't think I'm good enough, is showing, not giving my daughter what I didn't have, but teaching her what I wasn't taught. And I wasn't taught business, and I think by showing her how to start a business with a card game or something like that, whether it's successful or not is irrelevant. But the important part would be for her to see what it takes and how to do it. So then later on, if she wants to do something that she's passionate about, she can do it. I have so many ideas, like, that are creative. Like, my passion is coming up with business models and brainstorm on it, and I'll give it away freely to people. I mean, I have another one about NFTs that I'm thinking to start a fundraising campaign for, possibly what's going on in Ukraine right now. And so, I investigated and researched and learning. So I can say I have a passion for learning new things that interest me, a passion for expanding my creative side, I think those really are my passions. And then I try to turn it into business usually.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I have the similar passion, with respect to kids and teaching them through entrepreneurship and applying the tactical things that they learn in school to a business, or turning an idea into a product, and a product into a sale, and a sale into revenue, and so on and so on.
Yes.
My oldest daughter and I were developing a product just before the pandemic hit, and I took her out of class one day to go to a graphics design office, and we designed out this product, and we created a beta. But to the point, I hope that now she has this understanding of she can create things, and it doesn't have to always be the traditional route that we kind of lay out in front of her. And so you and I are on the same page on that. For sure.
I think you have to teach kids, one, by example, and two, show them that they can do anything. People say, oh, you can do anything, but is that really true? It's not 100% true, right? You can do anything but you need a certain amount of reach and energy to get to it. And so, for example, it's kind of like, somebody tells me, well, can I climb the Everest? I say, yeah, but probably not in the next month. I mean, I'm totally out of shape. I need to practice and train. And so installing, one of the things that I think kids are lacking is finding the vision. How do you go from point A to point B, and laying out milestones to get there? I think it's something that's missing, because people say, oh yeah, I'm going to learn a new language. They barely know English. I'm like, come on, guys, let's learn English, then, start learning a new language. But find the path and create the milestones for yourself so you can achieve your goal. I think people relate that a lot more with the gym, right? They go and they do whatever they do at the gym, and then they get to their goal. I think it has been more done, and that's what all those companies are doing, right? They're showing them, oh, take this smoothie there, lift 5 times whatever over there, and do those things. So that's those are all the things that I think kids need to learn how to do on their own, and not be sold something to be able to do it.
Sure. So let's continue on the kid theme. Talk to us about your childhood and where you grew up, how you got to where you are today. Walk us through the Bruno journey.
Yeah, so the Bruno journey has been a little bit unusual. So I grew up in France in 1982. My father was an engineer, and my mother was a homemaker. But she took care of us, and she helped us with, many things. I wouldn't say she helped us with homework and things like that. Both of them were immigrants in France. So it was already, it was a little bit, tough for them as far as language and things like that. So pretty early on, I knew I liked the business. I mean, I was 7 or 8, and at the time it was, the franc, and 10 francs were about, at the time, $2. And I would go around the neighborhood, and I would knock on the doors, and I'd be like, hey, for $2, I'll vacuum your house. That's what I was telling the ladies over there. And guess what? Nobody accepted. And I was like, why not? And they're like, oh, maybe you're not going to do a good job. Oh, I'll do it. I mean, they're very business adverse over there. Then at 16, I used to play with my neighbor. We used to play chess a lot and soccer. And he got a computer, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. And then we were playing, video games at his computer. And, he started he made a website for himself. It was 1996, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. 82 plus 16, whatever that was. And so we got 98, I guess. So we got, I saw this and I was thinking, man, this is awesome. Why don't we make a website, websites for businesses? And so we picked up this very old laptop that somebody had given us, or whatever, barely worked, and we went around every single store in town. It was a very small town, about 20,000 people, and we went to every single store and we asked them if they wanted a website, and we'll make a website for them. Nobody gave us a contract. We met the guy for shoes and says, who the hell is going to buy shoes online? This is the most stupid thing I ever heard. And, Zappo, right? It's history now. And this guy obviously is out of business. I mean, he's not even there anymore. For many years, he hasn't been there. So we didn't get a single contract. And then I had an uncle here in the United States who invited me to come over for the summer. And so I came and I hung out at his place, and he was working. He had a staffing agency. And I was like, I used to go there, and he was like, hey, why don't you work? I'll give you some cash or whatever. And so I was working with them, doing very small administrative tasks. It was mostly vacation most of the day, but I would do a couple of things here and there to help him out, cash checks at the bank or whatever. But that really opened my eyes to business and what can be built and what can people do. At the time, I think he had 10 employees. He had 4 or 5 employees in the office, but then he had it varied between 10 to 100 employees that would work, since it's staffing, right, on different. Actually, it was a medical staffing agency in different hospitals. And so I saw business, I saw the checks. I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to do business. And then I ended up coming here, went to University of Maryland, studied computers and things like that, so computer engineering. But I was living off campus because I couldn't live on campus because it was too expensive for me. And so they have a program called the Hinman CEO whatever, which is a program that funds where they actually give you a secretary to basically pick up phone calls, and they want to stimulate you to start some businesses within campus. I went there. I begged them to take me. I said I'll show up to any meeting, whatever. They wouldn't hear it. They said, forget about it. You cannot do it because you don't live on campus. And I was like, okay, whatever. Funny part, I had 2 or 3 friends that were in those things. Actually, 3 guys I can remember that were in that program. None of them is doing business today. So I just kept going, right? So then I got my first job. For a startup. It was a company that did online backup. And sold for 123 million. And then I was like, oh my God, this is definitely what I want to do. It sold for 123 million to Norton Antivirus, right? And that's history. Then I definitely knew, so I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and then I started doing my own business. I started with some consulting in software, and switched to the real estate development side.
And how long ago was that when you switched to the real estate?
In 2017, so what, about 5 years? So I was doing this before, right? It's a little bit tricky because most people in this channel probably know about self-directed 401ks and things like that, if they're solopreneurs. And so I was using that to invest in a real estate development company. And I saw I was getting 12%, doing nothing, right? Just give them a check and they pay me 12% return. So I was like, whoa, this is great. And then, they split the two guys that I was in the company. I was investing in this company that was led by 2 guys, and then they split. This one guy wanted to do the ultra luxury market, and the other guy wanted to do smaller flips and less risky projects. And I decided to go with the guy that was doing less risky projects. And then I one day he came up to me and said, hey, let's in the meantime, I knew him. I had a long relationship with both guys, and one of them said, hey, let's go build a $25 million house here close to Georgetown. And I was like, 25 million, that's crazy. Who the hell is going to buy this? That's the guy from the ultra luxury market, right? And the other guy was like, hey, why don't we just go do a couple of flips in PG County? I was like, all right, well, flips in PG County it is, right? It's a lot less risky. The profile is a lot better as far as risk goes. And then we decided to start the company, and we did flips, and then we moved to DC. We did more flips in DC, more expensive house, like $1 million house in Capitol Hill, and now we just do buildings. We do residential, small boutique condos, left and right here in the city.
Fantastic.
And that's the Brunos journey. I mean, a lot of pretty unusual for somebody that works for the government or something like that, but much more typical, I would say, probably for an entrepreneur. Very, all over the place.
Agreed. A lot of it resonated with me, especially the offering something, getting a no, offering something else, getting a no.
Yeah.
And eventually you kind of settle into where you are. I'd be curious, if you're thinking about that journey you just described, what advice would you give yourself today if you were talking to the 16-year-old Bruno, who's considering going and building websites for the local town businesses? What advice would you give him?
I would say don't stop. I'm sure that if I would expand it to the towns next door, somebody would have eventually said yes. And today, maybe I wouldn't be doing okay. I would be retired. Who knows? Because it was in 1998. It was before all that stuff. And learn, like always learn in every field. Doesn't matter what you're learning. Like if something is interesting to you, learn, because your memory is so interesting the way it works. It connects things that you don't expect at times you don't expect. Like I thought about you asked me about leadership, and I was thinking, what is a good leader? What is a leader? And I thought about this quote of this quote that's like all over the paintings about love, right? And I was thinking, oh, that's so weird how the brain works, right? Leadership and love, what do they have to do together? But they're very, very similar. Love, passion, and all those things gonna go together. So awesome. Learn everything, doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, follow your North Star, right?
Yeah.
So Bruno,
just learned.
If somebody from the audience curious to find you, what's your social media platform of choice?
That's a tough one. I just do email. I don't do a lot of social media. LinkedIn is probably the best. I mean, I have a LinkedIn profile, first name, last name, Bruno, Muscolino. And I'll add everybody. I'm not one of those popular guys that you have to follow. You can still send me a message or email, right? Email Bruno at squareresidential.com.
Fantastic. And we'll have all those, the social media links, your email, we'll have those in the show notes. Sure. So anyone who's listening, just go online and find how to contact Bruno. Bruno, my favorite closing question is, what's exciting you about the future?
The future. I mean, so many more things to build and create and to invent. And, I don't know. There's just so much, the unknown, right? The unknown and everything to do. I mean, you have to look forward to life. Life is exciting and evolving, and everything is exciting.
I love it. I love that energy.
So thanks. Yeah. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, this was always a great interview. Thank you.
Yeah, I loved it. It's great getting to know you a little bit more and feeling your energy. And I look forward to watching you build and discover new things.
Oh, me too. Thank you. Yeah. Talk to you soon.
And that's a wrap, my friends. Thank you for spending your time with me. For show notes and other episodes, visit us at impactfulleadershipshow.com. One last food for thought. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone.